Hello bookworms! Today I'm going to be doing another news and stuff video. There is like a ton of new news that came out, so I'm really excited to discuss all of it. But before I start, I just want to say this is my first video with my new bookshelves because I did all of them over and they are completely like rainbow coated now and I really love them. But I just wanted to tell you in case you didn't notice that that's why my shelves are different. So anyway, I'm just gonna get into it because like I said, there's like so much to cover. Oh, okay, so obviously the first thing that I want to talk about is actually a little bit of Funko news. So they're coming out with some more Harry Potter toys, but they're not Funko Pops. They're part of the Rock Candy line. They are like they're like taller than normal Funkos and they're thinner. Their heads are smaller, like more to scale of like what an actual human shrunk down would look like. Not like a chibi version like Funko's. So they're coming out with a Luna Lovegood and she's wearing her glasses and she's wearing like the pink jacket and everything and that dress and like that's just such an iconic outfit for Luna. So I'm really excited to be able to get that one. I think you guys all know at this point how much I love Luna Lovegood. So I'm really excited about that. And there's also a Bellatrix and there is Harry, Ron, and Hermione. And hopefully they'll continue to add to that line as well because I think that they look really good. And I have some of the superhero versions of them and they are like very well detailed. The faces look really good. I would say they're better quality than the Funko Pops because the paint on them also tends to be a lot better. The next bit of exciting news is that A Darker Shade of Magic by Victoria Schwab is getting a special collector's edition. It's gonna come out on, I believe, Halloween of this year and it's really pretty. It has a black cover. I'll insert a photo of it here so that you can see it. But it looks really cool and it would be really awesome if they ended up creating a cover for the series for each London. So like we have a white cover, there's gonna be a black cover. So it would be cool if they eventually came out with a gray cover and a red cover as well. Back to the Harry Potter world for a minute. It sounds like Universal is actually going to be expanding the wizarding world of Harry Potter, which is like so exciting. I'll leave a link down below to, I think it's MuggleNet. They had some diagrams of potential expansion. It sounded like they were gonna try to play with like the Flu network and they've also been going out and trying to get different patents, so that will give us a hint as to like what exactly it is that they're planning. But there's one cool diagram where it shows like you would be standing like in a center and then all around you are doors, like kind of like the Haunted Mansion at Disney. If you go in there, how like it brings you to a different part just because like a different door opens. So I think that's what they're doing for the Flu network, but I'm not 100% sure. That's just like, I think, speculation at this point. And then also, so the new edition of the Hogwarts school like textbooks came out recently. They're really beautiful. I really love them. They have like, they're just such gorgeous colors. I actually talked about them in an earlier news and stuff video, but it turns out that the new edition of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, some of them are actually missing a paragraph about hippogriffs. Somebody, I guess, discovered it because they took the new version and compared it to the old one to see what was new and then realized that they were actually missing it. So if you happen to have one of those versions, I believe Scholastic is replacing them for you. They'll send you the one with like the correct added paragraph, but I actually think it's kind of cool to be able to have one with a misprint because it's kind of like a collector's item. I'm not actually sure if I have the one with a misprint or not, but I think I do because it sounds like it was the one that's included in the box set, and the ones that are sold as like standalones, those ones seem to be okay. So chances are I do, but I have to check. Okay, and then this is like just a strange but exciting new thing. So there's this beer company called Yingling and they just started creating butterbeer ice cream. So it's really exciting for us Harry Potter fans that don't live in Orlando or in California and get to go to the wizarding world of Harry Potter all the time. I believe it's being sold in all food stores like right now, so you can go and find it, but I haven't had a chance to try it yet, but I definitely like really want to. Then a little bit of casting news. Jennifer Aniston has just signed on to star in the film adaptation of Dumplin' by Julie Murphy. So that's exciting. The most exciting casting news, in my opinion, is that Colton Hayes has signed on to be in the Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda movie. And for those who aren't aware, Colton Hayes was on Arrow and he played Roy. So I'm really excited to see him in Simon because I loved him on Arrow and I just love Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda. So it's like the perfect fit. We also got a new trailer for the Netflix adaptation of The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. That's going to be coming out later, I believe later this year on Netflix, and it's a pretty long trailer. It's like 2 minutes long, and it is really creepy. Oh, and then also Gwendolyn Christie just signed on to be in the Darkest Minds film by Alexandra Bracken. And Gwendolyn Christie, for those who don't know, is Captain Phasma in the Star Wars films. So that's really, really cool. Also currently available, Waterstones just released the cover, and you can now pre-order the like special collector's edition of Lord of Shadows, which is coming out at the end of May. It has a gray cover, and it's similar to the Lady Midnight cover, but it's gray with a navy blue rune. I'm hoping that once we get it, it's going to be more of like a silvery kind of color instead of like flat gray. But it's really pretty, and I'll leave a link down below to where you can pre-order your copy. And the jacket copy for Lord of Shadows has actually been released too, so now we have a little bit of a better sense of what's going to be going on in the second book, which I think is really, really exciting, but obviously I won't talk about exactly what it says because spoilers if you haven't read Lady Midnight yet. And lastly, for like casting type stuff, is that Joss Whedon is signing on to direct a Batgirl film, which is so exciting because I don't know about you, but DC movies just pale in comparison to Marvel movies. They really have not done a good job at all with like any of them. So I feel like a Batgirl film is something that I could like definitely get behind, and the fact that like Joss Whedon is going to be the one that is making sure that it is accurate to the character. I mean, I love pretty much everything that Joss Whedon does, so I have like full faith that he will do a really good job with it, and it'll probably be the first DC film that I like really enjoy. Then I have some cover reveals to talk about. The first one being really kind of upsetting, not kind of, completely upsetting. It's Before the Devil Breaks You by Libba Bray. This is going to be the third book in the Diviner series, and unfortunately they have redesigned the covers once again, and once again it's even worse than the cover that came before it. So the Diviners had a great cover, then they redesigned it for Lair of Dreams and it was terrible, and now they redesigned it again for Before the Devil Breaks You and it's even worse. So that's really sad, and I wish that they would just pick a design and stick with it and like revert back to the original design, because they just keep getting worse and worse. So I figured I would get like the bad news cover out of the way because the rest of them are really exciting. So we also got the cover for God's Grave, which is the second book in the Nevernight series by Jay Kristoff, and this one looks really, really good. It's very similar to the first cover, except the main character Mia looks like way more badass in it. I'm really curious to see what the UK cover is going to look like because that one was also really beautiful for Nevernight. So hopefully that should be coming soon. But in the meantime, we have the US cover, which looks really good. We also got the cover for Maggie Stiefvater's new book, All the Crooked Saints. I'm really excited to read this book because I really enjoy Maggie's writing. I know there's already been a ton of commentary online about the book because I believe it follows a Mexican-American family. And people were saying that it seems like cultural appropriation, but I try not to judge books until they come out and I read them, so I can't obviously comment on that. People are just making these assumptions based on the plot summary of the novel, so hopefully that won't be the case, but the cover is really pretty, so. We also got a cover for The Dazzling Heights, which is the second book in the 1000th Floor series. This one is, again, really beautiful. I really, really love the cover designs for this series. They're probably like up there in some of my favorites, but the one thing that I will say is that it's a little bit confusing because the first book, we know, The 1000th Floor, explains that like all of New York is in this one building that is 1,000 floors, but the cover of this one shows two buildings and both of those buildings are different than the building on the first cover. So I'm just curious like what these buildings are and how they relate to the story. I think it's gorgeous. I'm just confused about how they tie in. And we also got the cover reveal for Stephanie Perkins' new book, There's Someone Inside Your House. And this one I really love. I love like the neon purple. It gives like a very 80s vibe, and it is supposed to be kind of like an 80s slasher type film. It has nothing supernatural going on at all. It's literally about someone inside this person's house. So I think that the cover is like so perfect for it. It looks gorgeous. We also got the cover for Foolish Hearts by Emma Mills. This is going to be Emma Mills' third book, and once again, she has a beautiful cover. It's a little bit on the darker side, and both of her other covers have been more like bright colors, so it's definitely a little bit different. I'm hoping that once it is released, it'll look a little bit brighter than it does in the photos online. And I'm definitely excited to see what is underneath that book jacket, because she just has some of the best designed books that are currently available, in my opinion. And the last thing that I wanted to mention is a fellow book blogger of mine, Hazel, who is so nice, from Stay Bookish. She just launched the first issue of her new zine. It's called the Stay Bookish zine, and it is so beautiful. I read through the entire thing. It's about like 88 pages, and you can read it for free online. She has a ton of wonderful contributors, and it's just like beautiful. Like, there's really, really interesting articles, and the photos are like, oh my gosh, I was just like, yes, like I love how this looks. There's an interview inside it with Becky Albertelli all about her upcoming book, The Upside of Unrequited, and also about Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda and the like filming process and stuff that she's been going through. There are articles about representation in YA. There are articles about starting your own booktube channel. There's just like so many wonderfully written and well thought out articles. I do have to say that I felt like the whole zine is just, I think why I liked it so much is because it promotes like diversity and inclusivity in an intelligent and positive way, which is really, really nice to see. It was just so wonderful to read the whole thing. So I'll leave a link to that down below also. So that's all that I have for this video. Let me know which piece of news you're most excited about, which cover you like the best of the ones that I showed you, and I will talk to you guys in the comments and see you soon with a new video. Bye!